I'm nervous. Hey everybody, welcome to Disc Golf Answer Man. I tried to say that too fast, like Bobby.
You tried to be Bobby too much.
I am Danny Lindahl, and I am here with Anthony. Hasn't had a weekend off in like 4 weeks.
It's been a minute.
Van den Heuvel.
It's been a minute.
We've done GBO, and then the Stadium Experience. That wasn't the next weekend.
No. Stadium Experience was 2 weekends ago.
And then this weekend.
This weekend was the Amateur Match Play Finals.
Amateur Match Play.
This coming weekend, I am going to another Stadium Experience down in Tulsa, being run by, I believe it's Basket Case Disc Golf or Basket Cases Disc Golf, something like that. The local shop in Tulsa rented out I believe it's like the Tulsa Kickers or something. I forget the exact name, but they're setting up a 9-hole course in the stadium, and then afterwards everybody gets to go to the soccer game or base. I think it's a soccer team. It's a soccer and baseball field.
They're playing in it right after disc golf.
Yes, the last card tees off at like 3:30 or 4 or something like that, and the game starts at 7. So they're going to be like picking up baskets when these. Yeah, last card has to bring all 9 baskets in.
Just carry them all.
Yep.
All right, that's going to be awesome.
Figure it out on your own. Yeah, it's a group of 4, you guys.
All right. If you can't tell, I am not Bobby, and Anthony is neither Robert nor Eric. Because Bobby, Eric, and Robert are all in... Are they in Sweden yet?
Finland.
They're in Finland right now. They are over there for the Toonie that's coming up this weekend. It's a huge event. They're trying to blow it up and try to be like the Glassblown Open, but is it in Sweden or in Finland? The event is...
The Toonie...
I think it's Finland.
It's in Europe.
The YouTube channel correct us.
It's in Europe for sure.
Anthony's got the YouTube chat open there, and I am handling the switching and the asking of the questions. So they're overseas. So we're trying to run this. We'll see how this goes. Was there something else we wanted to talk about at the beginning?
Tulsa. First of all, Daniel. Yes, the Tulsa Drillers. I was very way off when I said whatever I said.
Whatever. It's kickers. Something shooters.
Oh, kickers is from there's a soccer podcast that I listen to.
Oh,
local
okay.
Team is the Kickers. So
all right.
Yes, no, it's the Tulsa Drillers is the team.
Tulsa Drill. We're kind of just hanging out on YouTube before we get the actual audio recording started.
We had it scheduled for later. But someone was talking about that bounce ace at Utah Open.
Oh, yeah, that was sick.
Holy.
Sias Elmore, that was a sweet thumber.
I don't think I've ever seen like an overhand ace, period.
Yeah.
Let alone one that bounced off the ground and then went in the basket.
That's pretty dope. Well, think about it. Can it come in just straight in? Or would it be? That's the hard part. Is it's at such a steep angle.
Someone on Reddit claimed like a week or so ago that they got a thumber ace. It was just a picture of them standing by the basket. So like,
he probably making it up.
You can't lie on the internet though.
Mm-hmm.
So
they'll find you.
It probably happened for sure. So it's possible, but like,
how do you do that? I don't understand. It's coming in at such a strong angle that just like a straight shot is going to be the most consistent.
Yes.
I don't know. How do you even get the basket to catch that too? It should hit the bottom. And
usually like, both thumbers that I've thrown in my entire life, neither of them bounced high enough to like get chain height again once it hit the ground.
He used the force.
Star Wars. Helps to be.
He's got it.
Helps to be size, man. He's a big
got
dude.
It right there.
Throws real hard.
Super nice too.
Will there be footage of the USAMPC B tier? I think you might know.
The B tier has a compilation, just a highlight reel basically that I put together. It's like 4 or 5 minutes long. I interview Isaiah in there because spoiler alert, he took the thing down, shooting like averaging 1,000, didn't he?
It was over 1,000.
Over 1,000.
It was like 1020 something, 1013.
That's pretty good.
1013. By the way, 13 years old.
I see what you did there. That was pretty clever.
Thanks.
I like it. All right.
Disc golf Anthony, man.
Anthony. All right. So should we jump into the podcast then?
Hang on a second. Not only was I wrong, it's not the Tulsa Kickers. Daniel was also wrong. It's not the Tulsa Drillers. That's the baseball team.
Oh.
It's the Tulsa Roughnecks. So
we get facts here on Disc Golf Answer Man.
pretty much event canceled, I think.
You got to call it off at this point.
It's actually not true.
All right.
No. But, yeah, if you're in Tulsa, or if you just feel like going to Tulsa this
I'm
weekend.
thinking about it.
I mean, I know a guy that's going. If you wanted to help film, like,
I might.
you can just
Probably
do all the
not,
work.
but
I'll
I
take
might.
all the credit. It's perfect.
Anthony's got a lot of good content coming out. That's suffice to say.
There's a lot.
So, I guess we should probably start recording, unless we're just doing this live. No, we'll start recording. All right. So we're gonna have to restart it, and I'll do the whole intro where I talk really fast. You ever notice how fast Bobby talks at the beginning?
Hey, what's up, everybody's about to cool. It's like a YouTube
You made
video.
it like a hick there. It doesn't really.
No, it's Kansas.
I guess.
There's like a cattle auction or something,
The
probably.
half south.
Yeah.
All right. Let's
He's
get.
just trying to embrace the culture.
I'm gonna go ahead and start the recording now.
Okay.
All right. Hey everybody, welcome to Disc Golf Answer Man. My name is Danny, and I am here with Anthony Vandenheuvel.
Yes.
Did I say that right?
You actually nailed it.
Awesome. Perfect. We are here because Bobby, Robert, and Eric are out of town. They're in Europe. So I didn't forget his name. I thought you were laughing at the
Sorry, I
pause.
was laughing at the chat.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
All right. So
Sorry.
we are here because they're out of town, and we are covering for Disc Golf Answer Man. So let's get started. We just finished up with the USAMPC this last weekend. It was awesome. We have round coverage coming for the last round. It was exciting. It looked like it was going to go one way, and then it started to come back the other way.
No spoilers.
Not going to spoil
But
how it finished.
somebody did win, and somebody lost, too.
But the person who lost still won 9 veteran
He didn't-
baskets.
He
He didn't really lose.
didn't
And
really lose.
Really, everyone who came got $500 just for showing up.
Not a bad deal.
So, yeah. I'm really excited for doubles. I wish I could play. I'm like 2 or 3 rating points too high.
We could talk about ratings updates. They updated today.
They
if you
did
want.
update today. Let's do that like halfway through.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's conveniently forget about my rating halfway through, though.
Sounds
we'll
good
just
to
talk
me.
about yours.
I have no idea if you even play disc golf at this point.
No, it sure doesn't seem like it.
All right. So USAMPC came through. It was awesome. Everybody got $500 just for walking in the door, which is kind of, I say that a lot. It's just mind-blowing.
That was what Doug was saying, or maybe somebody told Doug, but they were talking about how it's the best player pack they've ever got, and all it was a T-shirt and an envelope.
Yeah.
Well, it's the best player pack you've ever had.
But doubles match play is coming up. So if you got knocked out of your bracket and you're upset about it, or if you just didn't get a chance to play in one, look into playing in your local bracket, or if there's not a local bracket, head to discgolfmatchplay.com to learn how to run one. I think AK Alston upstairs is taking care of all that,
Yep.
so he will get you sorted and get you on the way. But let's jump into the questions.
First one
Um,
up.
First one up here. This is weird. I plugged this random mouse into the MacBook here, and the scroll is backwards. I don't know if that's a Mac thing, but that's what it is right now. So we're just rolling with it. All right. The first question comes from Ross. It's a form question. We're going way back in the day. This is from April 15th. But
So
he
this
says,
is like back when Ross and Rachel
yeah.
got him.
All right. Friends, my mom watched that show.
Same.
Didn't clap for the intro. How do you not do the little...
Did she actually watch the show?
I don't think so at that point. It doesn't even count. Really. Anyway, Ross's question says, in one of the courses I play has a hole which is about 350 feet downhill. It has a tight gap 50 feet in front of the tee and then opens up to a field with the basket at the end. I would like to know if there are any drills related to hitting small gaps with a backhand. I know about mindset, i.e. thinking about hitting the gap and not the trees. However, I don't know if there are any efficient ways to practice besides throwing every disc in my bag at/through the gap. So, Ross, for form on hitting gaps, it's all about reaching back straight and not trying to smash the disc. So the reach back, you want to make sure, I like to say, the whole disc can see the target from the peak of your reach back. At that point, the disc is going to be able to go straight forward without having to curve at all, like around your torso or around anything, and it's going to be a lot more consistent and a lot more accurate. It's also important not to try and throw it as hard as you can. I like to disc up when I'm hitting a gap. Like if it's normally something I would throw an EMAC Truth at, I might grab a getaway just because I'm not going to have to smash it. Mm-hmm. Do you have any advice for hitting gaps?
I mean, it's not really like he was asking for drills. For me, I would just like practice hitting gaps. But what I like to do when I have that is, like he said, don't think about the trees. I like to pick something. And I was talking with Kyle Webster when he was here last week. We did a bunch of filming, and he does the same thing where you have those trees and you have the gap. You look at the gap and pick something that's just so far in the distance. Your best shot ever is still not going to get you there. But pick something that's way off in the distance that is on the line you want to hit and aim for that. Don't think about the trees. Don't think about hitting the gap. Think about whatever it is way down there and throw your disc at that. And that kind of, for me, it almost takes me out of the gap. Because all I have to think about is just, okay, we'll just throw it to that tree.
Yeah, it's thinking positively versus thinking negatively, for sure.
Yeah, and one thing, I know it wasn't directly his question, but if there's 2 gaps, I only focus on the first one. Because if you focus on the first one and the second one and then the third, and then you need your disc to flip and all this kind of stuff, I don't worry about that. I worry about what disc is going to get me the flight path I want through the first gap. And just do that.
Put the disc where you need it to be, 50 feet off the tee, and the rest, you should know the flight of your disc.
Exactly.
To take care of it.
So, yeah, I say pick something off in the distance, aim for that. Don't even worry about the trees. Don't worry about the gap. Just be smooth, hit your line.
For sure. All right. Thank you, Ross. Let's see. What is the next one?
Your mom just said, I heard that, and then put a whole bunch of clapping emojis.
Thanks, Mom. All right.
Awesome.
Next one is from Scott. Scott has another form question. He says he's a big fan of my videos. If you don't know, I have a YouTube channel. It's just under my name, Danny Lindahl, and I post usually form videos, sometimes goofy videos, mostly goofy videos, but some form videos, and that's what he's referring to. So they immensely helped me learn to play the game. Can you tell me the difference between strength training versus technique training and its relation to my throw? If I want to have a better drive, does one matter more than the other? Will a good strength training regimen help to increase my skills, or is it more important to focus on creating good technique? Scott, I would say 100% you have to focus on technique.
Yeah.
I am strongest man in the world. I've bench pressed at least 5 pounds twice.
I've seen it.
It's pretty impressive.
Struggled on the second, but got there.
I got there. I got it all the way up. Strength has very little to do with throwing distance. In fact, working out and getting those big, slow-moving muscles but powerful is not really going to be the best for the throw. You want to make sure you stay limber, more like a sprinting form. So in general, working out, you're going to want to make sure you're doing a lot of, I guess, yoga and making sure you're fit enough not to get tired in the middle of the round. Lots of stretching. But for improving your game, focusing on technique is going to be the best way to do it.
1,000%. I mean, think of all the top disc golfers like Eagle, Ricky, Paul. They're strong, but none of them are bodybuilder, just muscles on muscles on muscles. It's all about your timing, your technique, your form. I mean, do that stuff to be in better shape.
Yeah, just to be healthy.
Yeah, but if you're doing something purely to get better at disc golf, your technique and your form and stuff is going to get you way better results way faster.
For sure. There's to go too far in that direction, some people might say that if you have big muscles, I'm picturing a big bodybuilder type guy, that they would get in the way of a good throw. I don't think necessarily that. I just think that they don't help. So I wouldn't not work out so you don't get too big.
Yeah.
That's like accidentally winning a marathon or something like that. That's not how it works.
Avery Jenkins is a big dude.
Yeah.
He's just a large human. But he's still good at disc golf. He still throws
you
far.
You could say that. Yeah.
He's a lot better than me, for sure.
For sure.
Wake him up at 3 o'clock in the morning on his worst day. He's
left-handed.
Yes.
Probably not left-handed.
Maybe not left-handed.
I'll put you against Avery left-handed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Next question here. This one is from KD. This is a podcast question. I'm probably going to let Bobby answer that one because he's more about that podcast stuff.
Kevin Durant is starting a podcast?
Kevin Durant. I was thinking kill death ratio in Fortnite, which is abysmal. Don't look it up. Anyway, this question is from Jack. It's another form question. He says, I started disc golfing when I was 11, and I've been playing for around 2 years. I always wanted to throw far, but I never practiced putting. I can throw 475 now, but I can't putt. I practice for 2 hours every day and can't seem to get putting down. My rating is 816, and it's hard for me to get my rating up when I cannot putt. What's your advice? This is actually a question that I had Robert answer in a video, and I've edited it together, and it's going to go out on an Instagram page. We are sort of slowly working on an Instagram page for this type of thing. Stay tuned for that. But it is answered and it is out there. The answer was, just for the people who don't go find that, go find it. But because Robert goes into great
detail. Do they even deserve the answer at that point?
They really don't, but I'm going to give it to him anyway. Okay. I'm going to give it to him in 7 words.
Nice guy, Danny.
Practice putting like you do on the course.
That's missing?
No, like develop a routine. Like put a mini down and walk up and go through your routine for every putt. That's basically what Robert says, but he talks about it a lot more and in much better words.
Much more better.
Much more better.
Much more better wordage.
That's the way it works.
For sure.
For sure. For sure. There's a lot of form questions in here. I don't think I sorted them by that, but I'm
kind of the guy for that, I think, right?
This is another one that Robert answered. I should have deleted those. Okay, this one is from Mike. This is a rules question. During a tournament, is there anything you can do about player conduct from another card? I've played 3 tournaments and have noticed a complete lack of etiquette at the novice level. Chit-chat when players are teeing off, proper throwing order, etc. Most recently, a card playing 1 hole behind mine had a player who screamed his full head off every time he missed a line. What? And sometimes when he hit his line, on every hole, the entire round, both rounds. To make it even worse, he won.
Ooh.
I'm just imagining someone screaming half of their head off. I don't know how that would work.
Is that like first round, second round? First half is gone the second.
I don't know. Okay. But what do you think? Is there anything according to the rules that you can do about player conduct from another card?
I think so. I think that happened during, I believe it was GBO. There was a card with like Philo, Nico, I don't remember, a few other people, and they were playing like really, really slow. And somebody on the card behind them had to go up to him and be like, look, guys, you guys are taking more than 30 seconds on every single throw. We have backups on every single throw. Either speed up your play or we're going to have to start stroking you guys. And they sped up, I think. So, yeah, I don't know the exact rule. It looks like Danny's looking it up right now. But I mean, I don't see why you couldn't. You're all still competing in the same field.
I just looked up the PDGA rules. Rule 812 is on courtesy. This is 812C. It says a player receives a warning for the first violation of any courtesy rule, which shouting and any sort of disruptive, not any sort of disruptive, but shouting and I think playing out of order.
Okay.
I don't believe so. But anyway, it says...
Ryan Nick just chimed in the chat, and he was one of the people on that card. He said, your card can call it, but someone on their card has to second it.
It says, may be called or confirmed by any affected player or by an official. Repeated courtesy violations may result in disqualification by the director. So Ryan's right, but also other people. So if someone is competing in and you are also competing, you can call a courtesy violation.
I think if I was playing and this was happening in the novice division, I would probably just be like, hey man, like...
Yeah. You don't want to be like calling rules. Generally, you give people the benefit of the doubt first.
That's what I would do, especially if, like, I'm assuming the person's probably newer or younger or something like that. I would just kind of, hey, pretend you're not at a rock concert. Pretend you're at a library or something. Don't yell all of the time. Maybe just like...
I mean, it is frustrating playing, but the whole catharsis theory where yelling or screaming or punching things will get it out actually doesn't work. I watched a really boring YouTube video on this, but it makes you angrier. Anyway, this next question is from Off Axis Torque. The category was GBO. Someone said on Reddit that the GBO weekend overall is ran at a loss. Do you see a significant amount more traffic on your online store after GBO, or see significantly more purchases from your retailers online and brick and mortar? That was a question. I phrased that wrong. Do you see significantly more purchases from your retailers online or brick and mortar? Is this a grow the sport and brand event, or in the next few months does it pay off? Loving your discs that I've tried. I'm slowly making my way through them all, and just watched Eric play round 1 on Central Coast Disc Golf. Loved seeing him play.
Killed it round 1.
Or no, that was Eric McCabe.
Yeah, he awesome. Killed it round 1.
So the GBO is ran at a loss. What do you think?
He asked if we saw more. He was kind of asking about like sales and stuff.
Yeah,
we don't really have those figures, but I would assume so. I know GBO week, a lot of retailers, because they can come to the warehouse and hand pull their own orders. I know a lot of retailers will come and do that. So I would assume that during GBO week and like a couple days after, a couple days before, the wholesale orders skyrocket for sure. I would bet the online orders drop, because a lot of the people that would be placing the online orders are here and they're going to the store themselves.
But even with all that, the GBO takes a lot of money.
Yes.
Like GBO takes in a lot of money from the store and from the retailers, but
yes,
it doesn't match the amount. Like we have to rent out the country club. This might be a better question for Eric because he's ran it for the past.
All of the player packs.
All of it. The players
1,600 player packs, spectator packs, volunteer stuff.
The volunteers get a free players pack, don't they?
I don't know if it's a 1-to-1 player pack, but they get a lot of. They get
a volunteer pack.
Yeah,
at least.
Yeah,
but like it's the GBO. I think do we rent out hotels for players?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Anyway, we put a lot of money into the GBO, and it's we have people come out to cover the rounds and stuff. So it takes a lot of work and a lot of money, and it doesn't really. It pays off in the long run in getting our name out there and getting eyeballs on the brand and stuff. But in the immediate, it's not a profitable.
It's a net
endeavor.
Loss as a whole.
As a whole,
GBO.
yes.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not cheap to run large disc golf events. I don't know if people knew that, but
when you run, you could give a bunch of stuff away.
Literally the biggest disc golf event ever, and then you make it 30% bigger. Costs a lot of money.
Costs a lot of money
to do that.
All right, this next one's from Tom. It's about beat-in discs. He says, I keep hearing about beat-in discs and how they perform different from their new variants. At what point is a disc considered to be beat-in? Thanks.
Whenever you notice a difference in the flight.
Yeah, when a disc hits a tree, what it does is it creates turbulence around the outside, which destabilizes it because of the scratches and the nicks and stuff. I used to think because it bent the rim down, but it actually doesn't. Again, I read another really boring article on that, but it creates turbulence around the outside, and that causes it to fly less stable. And so when you have a disc that is flying less stable than it's designed to be, that is when I would say the disc is beat in.
Yeah, I mean I've had discs that look really beat up and fly pretty similar, and I've had discs that look pretty new and fly way different, just because of whatever. They have one big chunk taken out of them or anything. So I don't think there's a set like, oh, you've hit 150 trees, it's now a beat-in disc. It's going to change with every disc, with every plastic, with every tree hit. I mean, you hit
and arm speed too.
Yeah,
I have a Defender that's looks like it's fairly beat in, but it still flies really overstable for me. But if I don't know, Eric threw it or somebody with more arm speed than me threw it, they would probably see a difference in that.
Probably a roller.
Probably a roller.
I do have a quick question here from the chat. I've seen it a couple times from Duck. He said, in a recent YouTube vid, you announced careers at Dynamic Discs. I went to your site about applying for jobs, but it doesn't say what jobs are open. What are they? I don't know. I don't have access to that. I don't have any involvement in hiring.
I don't either.
I don't think Danny does either. But you can always email your resume to Doug. It's just Doug at Dynamic Discs. He's our HR. He's the one that handles all that. He would be the one to tell you what openings we have or what opening you would fit best in. So I would go ahead and do that. Doug at dynamicdiscs.com.
All right. This next one is from Justin. Justin says, hi, Disc Golf Answer Man. Thanks for all the advice on these podcasts. My question is about brand loyalty. I bought my first discs about a year and a half ago, a Dynamic Disc starter pack, and have thrown nothing but Dynamic since.
Nice.
However, my brother has a bag mixed with Dynamic and Innova. I like the consistency I get with the disc by sticking with Dynamic. Do sponsored players have mixed brands in their bag? If so, is there an advantage to doing so?
Yes and no. I know our players are eligible to throw Dynamic Discs, Latitude 64, and Westside discs. Some take full advantage of that. Some throw just Dynamic Discs. Some throw just Dynamic Discs and Westside. I'm sure same thing goes for other companies as well. So yeah, it's not you're not going to have someone sponsored by us throwing Dynamic Discs and Innova. They could throw anything within our three companies' family, but I doubt. I mean, if you're sponsored by a disc manufacturer,
yeah,
it's going to be in the contract that you throw that that manufacturer's discs or any sister companies of that manufacturer.
And really, as far as brand loyalty, it's all about what works for you. There's a lot of people who will say you should throw all of one brand because of the consistency, and that's fine if that's what you're used to. That's the discs you know. That's fine. And there's another group of people who would say, if you throw all one brand, you are actually hurting your game because you aren't throwing a disc that might work better for you. And I would disagree with that second sentiment. That's not. I don't really disagree with the first one. It's just it's kind of a spectrum. If you throw discs, you will learn those discs and you will learn how to throw those discs better. So if you have a disc that in your bag that you know like the back of your hand, like I have a beat up EMAC Truth that is, I know just what angle to put it on and just how it's going to fly at just whatever power level and whatever wind. I know that disc like the back of my hand. It's awesome. So if I were to let's just say I got sponsored by Westside, and Westside had this weird clause where I have to throw all Westside. If I had to throw a Tursus or a different mid or as like a sling or something for that shot, it would hurt my game. But once I got used to throwing that disc and I knew how to work it, then I would be just fine. Yeah. There's not like a magic disc that's going to fly better. It's all about your knowledge of that disc. I would say you make the shot, not the disc.
Yep. Yeah.
Anything to add?
I mean, throw what works.
Yeah.
If you like having everything be the same plastic, do it. If you just are absolutely in love with your rock and you just can't not throw the rock, you tried the EMAC Truth and the bead wasn't big enough, but you love the Defender, cool, man. Like, whatever works.
Yeah, if you're not like sponsored or looking for sponsorship or something like that, there's no reason to hurt your game. No. But also, if you try something new and you spend enough time with it, you'll be able to learn how to adapt that disc to your game.
Yeah. Don't throw one brand because your friend does it.
I'm throwing all whammo.
And then, okay.
Sorry, it's the only way to go.
Okay, never mind. I take it back. Danny's right.
All right, this next one is from Alec. He's got a question about shot selection. He says, "Hi guys, I watched GBO and I gotta say I love the event and the way it brings the sport together. Attending GBO in the near future is definitely on my bucket list. We'll be watching for you."
Yeah.
Anyway, I was wondering what the tournament would look like for a player entered either in the rec or the intermediate division. I got to see the pros play, but you guys said there were 1,600 plus players, so I was wondering what everyone else was and how their tournament looked compared to the pros.
Yeah, there was, I think it was like 1,300 AMs, was it?
I think so. About that, it was over 1,000, I would guess.
The vast majority of players were AMs for sure.
But so step one for the AM experience, get an awesome players pack.
Yes.
Step two, get to play with tee times, which isn't usually a thing for amateurs. I remember being really excited about that when I first came to GBO. And then step three is you get to play a bunch of different courses. The MPO, the men played the same course all 3 rounds, which the touring players like, and it's easier for the event because it's more spectator friendly. It's whatever your opinion is on that, that's fine. But the amateurs got to play 3 different courses. I think kind of similar to what the women did, the FPO field.
Yep.
But you get to play. We have Jones East, Jones West, Peter Pan, Cottonwood Falls.
Clover Cliff was a good one.
Olpey's down there too. We have lots of great courses in town, and you get to play a lot of different courses if you come to town as an amateur. There's also the block party. There's the beer fest. There's all kinds of stuff here, and the pros are just walking around.
Yeah.
There's not like a meet and greet. There is a meet and greet at the players party, but also
the whole week is a meet and greet. Pretty much.
First time I met Ricky was at the bonfire. He was just standing there, and I was like, "Hey, will you sign my disc?" He's like, "Sure, whatever."
Yeah.
They're just hanging out. It's super cool.
Yeah, it's a week-long disc golf party. That's pretty much what it is.
Exactly.
It's a disc golf party where you play a tournament too.
Pretty much. That's that. It's more like an event. That's most tournaments are more like an event and less about competitive golf.
Yes.
So, what were we going to talk about at the middle part?
There was Junior Worlds.
There was Junior Worlds coming up, and there's something else. I don't remember.
Junior Worlds.
Junior Worlds is coming up in 2 weekends.
2 weeks. Yep.
2 weeks. Yes.
Yep.
And you better watch out for Isaiah Escovel. He's a 13-year-old team member, and he throws far. I would see videos that
underselling it. He throws like really far.
He throws far squared.
Yes.
Accurate. EMAC would post videos on Facebook and YouTube, and they're like, it's not even that far. It's probably downhill or something like. It's actually far.
Yes.
Like I play an MPO, and I have enough distance to compete at MPO, not like big distance, but he throws farther than I do.
Yes.
He smashes. So Isaiah is going to be the person to watch out for at Junior Worlds. I think he's playing in 15 and under.
15 and under. I bet you won't have to scroll very far down that list to find his name. Yeah. What day are people going to be getting into town, do you think? Because the event starts on, if they're smart, probably tomorrow.
Probably tomorrow? That soon, really?
Yeah, I mean.
I guess, yeah. They should have been here.
You're not going to be in school.
Just move here.
It's a world championship right now. Like, this isn't no game, kids. Come on.
That's a good point. What day does competition start, do you know?
Is it the 10th through the 14th?
That sounds about right.
Something like that.
So it's 4 days of competition. People will probably start getting here the weekend before so they can practice the courses and get to know the area. But it's gonna be awesome. We've seen some of the players pack items. I think Rusco and Bobby broke the news of the junior cart.
Yes.
That looks pretty sick.
Yes.
It's like a smaller cart. It's junior size. It's a Zuka cart, but doesn't have the 2 layers. It just has the 1 layer at the bottom.
And we should say it's junior size, like junior players, like smaller. It's not like a junior disc cart.
Yeah,
You're not going to be using junior EMAC Truths
Put
in it.
full-size discs in
Yes,
there.
it fits full-size discs.
It also fits junior-size discs.
It fits a lot more junior-size discs than full-size discs. Yes, that's true.
It should.
That's true.
All right, so Junior Worlds is coming up. That's going to be exciting. Be sure to keep an eye on the news and stuff.
Yes.
I guess news and stuff is a thing now.
Do we know how many players are signed up for that? It's probably a lot.
I should look it up. I have the PDJ website right here.
But yeah, there's some good kids.
Yeah, there's lots of local players I know are getting excited for it. They're getting geared up. And then
Do you think, since I can't, I mean, this is kind of good for you too, because we both struggle with this. Between the two of us, we couldn't grow a full beard.
yeah,
Do you think if we have the facial hair of a junior, we'd still be allowed to play?
that's the way they should judge it. Just by the facial hair.
Come on, PDGA. This is my chance. If you can get me into that, like, 8 and under field, I can finish on the, like, podium.
Top 10?
Maybe.
We'll see.
Maybe.
We have 108 competitors in the 18 and under and 15 and 15 and under divisions. And then there's the junior girls. There's 8 and 7. There's a lot of people. Holy cow.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people coming to town. This Junior World is going to be awesome.
Yes. First of 3 years.
Yeah,
This
we
year,
have it.
next year, and the year after that. So if you're not here this year, first of all, mistake.
Mistake, yes.
Second of all, you now have more than a year of warning, of heads up, to get here next year. And you have over 2 years to get here for 2020.
And everybody who's here at 2020 has already practiced the courses. And they know them. So,
yeah.
Sorry about you.
You know what's crazy?
Yep.
Isaiah could be competing. No, I guess he couldn't. I was just going to say he could win 15 and under this year, next year. I mean, he could. He could win 15 and under the next 3 years.
He could.
And then win 18 and under the next 3 years. He could be a six-time world champion before he's 20 years old.
Let's focus on one at a time.
I'm just saying. It's possible.
I wasn't a champion of anything at 13, so.
I
didn't play disc golf then.
I wasn't half as good at anything as he is at disc golf by 13.
All right, let's jump back into the questions. We're here with Alec, has a question on discs. He says, what is the closest disc in the dynamic disc lineup to an Innova Champion Leopard? I love the lines I get out of it for nice short drives, but it's getting old and beat up. I'm looking for a replacement.
Boy, do we have that.
Anthony, you take it away.
You ever see Top Gun? Little Tom Cruise. It's called the Maverick. Probably our best disc, in my opinion. Fight me, EMAC. Don't.
Don't actually.
No, it's...
EMAC is spry. I would hate to see him fight.
No, I don't want that.
I don't want to fight anyone.
I don't want
anyway,
that
sorry,
at all.
Maverick.
Yes, it's a straight to slightly understable fairway driver, very similar to the Leopard. I would say it's maybe a touch more understable.
Haven't
Maybe.
done a Leopard in 4 years.
I haven't either, and my arm speed's way different now, so it's hard to judge, but they're very, very similar. Straight to understable, glidey fairway driver. I think the Maverick is for sure the way to go. If you wanted to step up, the Escape is going to be a similar flight, but it's a lot faster.
It's going to fade out a little bit more too.
Yeah. So
The thing about the Maverick is it has a smooth turn too. A lot of understable discs you'll throw and they'll flip really quick, and then they'll hold that angle and come out or whatever. But the Maverick, when I threw it, it would turn almost the whole flight, and then just at the very end it would hold. So it's a really unique disc.
It doesn't, like, the Thief flips really quick. Like, you throw it and it just wants to get over. But the Maverick is just cool to...
It's chill.
Take its time, little Sunday afternoon drive, just kind of flipping over. Yeah, it's awesome. That's definitely the way to go. Maverick for sure.
All right. This next one is from Kyle. It says, I've been trying to develop my forehand. When it comes to my forehand, I feel like I have a decent technique with my distance drivers and fairway drivers, but when it comes to forehanding putters and mid-ranges, they always turn over on me, even my most stable disc. I'm not sure if this is a grip issue since mid-ranges and putters feel different to me, or is it a technique issue? I use a 2-finger pistol grip if that helps at all. Let me know of any advice you guys have and keep it real. So for flipping over mid-ranges and putters but not distance drivers, you're pardon me, sorry, you're probably producing some off-axis torque, which is where the disc wobbles out of your hand. And drivers have a wider rim, and that counteracts it somehow. I guess
Physics and stuff.
physics, gyroscope thing.
You know.
Anyway, that wobble a driver will fight out of it. A fairway driver will fight out of it, but a mid-range is going to be more likely to just flip over and hold it. So you want to remove that wobble. Usually what that wobble comes from is a follow-through that's not on plane with the shot. So if you're throwing a hyzer, you want to follow through up along that plane. If you're throwing a flat shot, you want to follow through across, and an anhyzer, you'll follow through down. Also, for your grip, lots of times people will grip their forehands with their fingers sideways into the flight plate, but it's helpful to turn your fingers so they're gripping horizontally. So like the pads of your fingers here are against the flight plate. That should help add some power and add some spin.
Yeah, and one thing that works for me on that is if I think about keeping the disc flat in my reach back, because I've noticed if I don't do that, I'll kind of bring my arm up, and then I'll come through like a little swinging motion, like I don't know, that ride they have at all the amusement parks where you're in like the Egyptian boat and you just go up and down and up and down. If I don't think about keeping my arm flat in my reach back, that's kind of what my sidearm will look like. And sometimes I'll get like the air bounces, or it'll come out really nose up because of that. So if I focus on keeping my arm flat on my reach back, then my throw is actually going to come through flat and stay flat the whole time, which helps a lot with that. So,
along with powering down a little bit, not trying to smash it as hard.
No. I just try and overpower the off-axis
I try to
torque.
throw it as hard as I can.
Yeah,
if it barrel rolls all the way over, then it'll be a good flight.
Exactly.
That's what you're going
Yeah, for sure. It's all about power. Remember when we said technique versus strength earlier?
Strength.
Erase that. Definitely strength.
Okay. All right, this next one's from Brian. He says, why are most mid-range discs slightly larger in diameter, and what factors might go into the development process to design a mid like the Suspect to be a smaller diameter disc? Also, he's asking for a Moonshine Suspect. I know you like the Suspect
I'm also asking for a Moonshine Suspect now.
That sounds amazing.
I would love it.
Glow Golf, all one disc round out at middle school in Glow Golf. I'm
Meet
signing
you
up.
there, dude.
I'll do.
Ask me if I'm scared.
Let's
Nope,
go.
not scared.
Not scared. I couldn't even ask.
As for what goes into it, I don't really know. I think it's just kind of like what they want for the disc
Yeah.
type of thing.
So a larger diameter disc is going to rotate slower, just because it's a bigger disc. It's going to take more energy to get it moving. And so if you throw it the same way you would throw a driver, which is a smaller diameter disc, it's not going to be spinning as fast. So generally, you want your larger diameter discs to be glidier and more placement discs versus a distance disc or like a putter that would feel really weird to putt with a wide diameter putter. So the way you can tell what their diameter is by looking at the maximum weight, because it goes off the density in the plastic. A wide diameter mid-range has a max weight of 180, but a smaller diameter driver has a max weight of like 175 or 174. So the purpose of finding a wide diameter mid versus a narrow diameter mid would be, I guess, just whether you want it to be a distance disc or an accuracy disc. I think wider discs will glide more too. So if you want something that's going to generally more stick where it hits, or be more of a point and shoot type disc, whereas a mid range is kind of more of a shot shaping type disc and stuff like that.
Are there any wide diameter drivers?
I don't believe so. I think they're too hard to get the rotation on to get them up to speed.
Not for me.
That's
throw
what
pretty far.
You do throw pretty far. Anthony throws better than he gives himself credit for on the podcast, but
as long as I'm outside the circle.
That's it.
By like outside the circle, I mean like 300 feet away.
Accurate.
Yes.
Unlike my throws. All right, the next one here is from Brandon. He's got a question. I currently bag the following mids: Warrant, Truth, EMAC Truth, Suspect, Verdict, and a Justice. I'm trying
Very
to
nice.
simplify my bag and was wondering if I can replace anything else in my mid lineup with an EMAC Truth in a different plastic type. Now, you don't throw the EMAC Truth, do you?
I go back and forth. I've
Yeah.
been trying out the Sling from West Side Discs is a really good one.
Good frizz.
And then the Burst Origio Bard as well.
Those look so nice.
So pretty. The Bard's a little bit more overstable, but because it's the Origio, it can beat in pretty quick, and it can get a pretty straight flight out of it pretty quick. But the Verdict, if you get one of the Peter McBride EMAC Truths, or kind of a Sparkle Glow EMAC Truth, or just a regular
Those are stable.
Moonshine,
Or a Lucid X EMAC.
or a Lucid X, yeah. Those will work to replace the Verdict. The Warrant, he said?
Yep, he said Warrant, Truth, EMAC Truth, Suspect, Verdict, and a Justice.
Yeah,
You're not going to replace the Justice.
No.
Just telling
But
you now.
yeah, you could go Justice, Peter McBride EMAC, or Lucid X EMAC, or Moonshine EMAC for a little more overstable. Lucid EMAC, if you get like a Biofusion EMAC,
I used to throw the Biofusion EMAC a lot. It's a good disc.
yeah, you could take out your regular Truth, and then the Warrant is just, you're going to have to really beat up an EMAC Truth, so maybe like a Prime EMAC Truth or something like that, or a lighter weight Biofusion.
I have an EMAC Truth that I've had in my bag since they came out in, was it 16?
Dang.
Was it 2016?
Yes.
I think so.
Maybe.
I've had it in my bag since then. I've actually lost it a couple times and gotten it back.
Mm-hmm.
But it's it has the glass blown open stamp, or what used to be the glass blown open
Is
stamp
it the
on
yellow
it.
one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that flies still not as understable as a Warrant.
No.
So you're going to be hard pressed to beat in a disc that much.
Yeah. I think if you just go Justice, different plastic EMACs, Warrant, I think you could cover all your shots for sure.
All right. This next one is from Justin. He says, I've noticed that some of my shots often come out of my hand a tiny bit nose up, and I believe it to be holding back in my distance and accuracy. I've been actively trying to correct this and throw flat or slightly nose down, but I'm now starting to pull my shots too low. What advice can you give to keep my nose angle low but still get enough height under my shots? I think this is a question I answered in a video.
This is like the most recent video that you just put out. It's just like in depth.
Oh, yeah.
This.
So the getting the nose down, there are three parts that generally people are doing wrong that get the nose up. It could be grip, it could be a couple of other things, but generally the three issues are reaching back too high, because that will cause a dip in your shot and that will cause your disc to come out nose up. This is generally, if I'm throwing nose up, this is what I'm doing, is because I'm reaching back too high. And then the pull, you might have your hand on the front of the disc rather than the outside. So here, if this hat was the disc, you want your hand to be out here rather than up here, because if your hand's on here, the disc can pivot and it's going to come out like that. But if your hand's on the front, the disc is going to come out nice and brim down. And then follow through up. And this is the one that's kind of counterintuitive. You want your follow through to match the plane of your shot, but most people make the mistake of following through too low. Like they'll throw their shot and then follow through, sort of cut it short and tilt it down. And that actually tilts the disc up right as you're releasing. So my general correction is to follow through up, but for a hyzer, you want to follow through even more up, and then for a flat shot, just kind of over your right shoulder.
Okay.
Have any tips for nose down?
Yeah, my tips are go to YouTube, type in Danny Lindahl, go to the videos tab, and then click the play all button.
And then go through
And then
the field.
yeah, and then just walk away from your computer. Just don't pay attention to what he says. Just give him the views. No, Danny, yeah. Whatever Danny says is
Literally
far more accurate and more knowledgeable than any sort of form advice or tips.
I cannot get anything wrong.
No.
I've been correct every time.
This is true.
That's not true.
Oh.
I've been wrong a couple times. I'm thinking about making a compilation video of it.
Every time
All
you've
the
been
things
wrong?
I've been wrong.
Just a black screen for 10 minutes.
No, like I'll play the video and then talk about it. I don't know. It'd be fun. All right, next one is from C-Dub. He says, I was talking with some fellow cardmates about a guy that always listened to heavy rock during the round. Coincidentally, he seemed to have anger issues after errant shots. When people ask me if they mind with...
Earlier?
I'm sorry?
Is this the kid from that novice division that kept yelling earlier?
Is that... I lost my spot now.
My bad.
When people ask me if I mind if they listen to music, I now respond with what kind of music, as to avoid aggressive style music and play. What song or band would you play if you are driving, throwing an upshot, and putting?
Oh,
Like what song? I guess he's asking what song would you use to describe your mental state while doing that.
Jeez.
So when I'm driving, I want like, I kind of think of like a smooth build and dubstep to the drop,
Okay.
because it's like all chill, it's nice and smooth, and then as soon as it leaves my hand, it's like, you know. What I'm
There you
saying?
go. Just because it
That's-
goes so far.
Well, so far, I think that'd probably be my drive.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a drive song?
I mean, doesn't Incubus
Smooth.
have a song called Drive?
Probably.
I mean,
Smooth jazz.
I feel like I'd probably just look for something really corny.
That'd be a good plan. Like your tee off. So what's your tee off song for GBO?
Oh boy.
Oh, you haven't played GBO in a minute, have you?
No,
All right, I'll go on to my upshot song,
I don't remember.
and we'll get back.
I remember they asked that when we filled out the staff page on the website, and I said, "Hey Ya" by Outkast.
That works.
So I'll do
That's
that.
good and happy and chill.
Yeah,
You know,
kind of a
James Conrad. Kind of.
upbeat. Yeah,
like it.
just get you in a good
You
mood.
got a little hop while you run up for your
Yep.
drive.
You know me, man.
Your
All
hair.
about hops and skips.
All right, so for upshots, I'm thinking like Under Pressure, because upshots are probably the worst part of my game, and you always want to put it close so you don't have to putt. because I am not great at putting. So I always put a lot of pressure on my upshots, which is fine because usually my upshots are good.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say under pressure with David Bowie and Freddie Mercury. I almost said Freddie Krueger. That's not Freddie. Definitely not Freddie Krueger.
He's not quite as much of a singer as Freddie Mercury.
As he's a face slicer. Anyway, all right. I don't even know.
Geez. An upshot song?
Upshot song. What is
I
it?
don't know.
That's what slide part 2. So you're sliding up to the basket. I don't know. This is really cheesy now.
This is tough. I mean,
I like it though. I like the question.
Like, man, I don't know.
Okay. So putting song.
Just something really long. Because I spend a lot of time on the putting green.
That's fine.
Some
like putting multiple times or
oh yes.
Oh okay.
Definitely
I thought you meant like per putt. You take your time
No.
and really dial it in.
Not. Maybe I should. Maybe I should.
I'm thinking.
Probably another one bites the
push
dust.
It.
I think that
Push it like a push putt or whatever.
There you go.
I don't know.
Is there a song about birdogies?
Birdogies.
If not, I'll make one, and that'll be my putting song.
All right, I'm trying to find the next question here.
I don't know, because like if I'm ever playing and listening to music, it's not like, all right, I want heavy metal for my drives,
Yeah.
and then as we walk up, I want to relax. Like it's usually just like, oh, I really like this album. I'm just gonna listen to this.
Mm-hmm. But
And
like,
I
I think he's talking about like if you had a montage for your drives, what song would you have?
Oh.
Or like a montage for your upshots, what song would you put?
If it's a montage, you gotta go like Eye of the Tiger or something.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like just
that's
classic?
a good putting song.
Right?
Eye of the Tiger's a fantastic putting song.
I'm gonna change that.
Do it.
I'll
I'll copy you. That's
Okay.
a good idea.
Sweet, dude.
All right, next one is from Jay. He's got a question. He says, hi guys, big fan. Thanks for doing the show and helping noobs like myself. Since starting the never-ending quest for perfect driving form, I've started to have success with timing and release, but recently I've had some decent pain on the outside of my knee. I assume it's from the torque I've been putting on my plant foot. I think it's around the meniscus area. Any tips on correcting plant foot rotation would be great. I definitely made a video about this one too.
Yeah.
I definitely did. I think it's on the Dynamic Disc Instagram.
Okay.
But basically, I'm not a doctor. Neither of us are doctors, unless you've got like a night job or something.
Yeah, I actually got an honorary doctorate.
Honorary doctorate?
No.
That's not true.
No, my advice on like plant foot rotation is do it.
Yeah.
Just
You gotta set your plant foot up in the right spot. You want to turn your plant foot a little bit away from the target and set it down on the ball of your foot. Because if you're coming down on your heel, that's a lot of torque coming into your knee right there. And I remember Googling meniscus is why I remember this video, is because I had to look up what a meniscus was. But
at least you're honest.
You want to, if you have it on your toe first and then rotate your weight onto your heel, it's going to cushion the blow a little bit. It's not going to be as hard.
Okay.
Let me look here. Okay, this question is from Carlton, dude from Fresh Pins doing the dance. He says, I recently won a rec division tourney, but the competition wasn't great. It was on a shorter course, and I didn't play my best rounds. So I suppose my question is, should I move up in divisions now that I at least won a rec tourney? I'm mostly a sidearm player, but I'm learning to get a backhand down. I've always felt I needed to have a more rounded game to move up in divisions. Thanks, guys, for all you do in the sport, and keep it real. What do you think?
I don't think you have to. I mean, if you won a tournament and felt like you didn't play great, then yeah, you're probably borderline moving up. But you don't have to. Like, if it was me, I probably would. Mm-hmm. If I felt like I was playing an intermediate golf level, I would play intermediate. But I don't think you have to.
Yeah, obviously you can play wherever you want to. But the thing that I think that's important that you said is you didn't play your greatest rounds and you still won.
Yeah.
That's always my note that I look for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I play poorly and I still cashed or I still place top 5, even if I didn't win, if I did well with playing poorly, it's probably time for me to move up, which has got me to where I am now, and it's a problem. I can't move back down. But,
so what do you think if it's the opposite, though?
If you play well and you're like 10th?
Or what if like you just play mediocre
and you finish bad?
Yeah.
I would say you can move
Would
down.
you move down?
Yeah. I mean, you want to be at a place that that pushes you, right? So it's more about how seriously you take the game versus skill level. I mean, it's a little bit about skill level, but it's also about how seriously you take the game. If you put the same skill level player on a rec card and they're, talking while other people are throwing and goofing off and not calling foot faults or stuff like that. Like, that's fine because it's a rec tournament. Obviously, you should play by the rules, and if people do that, you're completely justified in calling them. But it's to be expected at a rec level. But if you play intermediate or if you play advanced, then those people are going to be following the rules. Those are people going to be taking it a little bit more serious. And
it also kind of depends what the environment you're looking for is, too. Like, if you want that casual, just everybody's hanging out there throwing frisbees,
just don't expect to play your best golf.
Yeah.
That's completely fine. Just not for me, I guess.
I do have one here from Joe from the chat. He's talking about the Trilogy Challenges, which are still going on.
Yes.
If you haven't, hit up trilogychallenge.com to see if there's one in your area.
Or you can still run them.
You can still run one.
Austin's got a lot of discs to send out.
But he was asking about the musket, and he wanted to know, would you say it's kind of like a longer convict?
I would say it's a similar distance, but like convicts start out fairly overstable. Like they'll have a little bit of turn and a good long fade, and I think that's like what they're designed to be. But the musket has a little bit more turn and a little bit later fade. So I would say it's less stable, but a similar distance, maybe a touch farther, but not a lot.
Okay.
Isn't that what you would say? I'd say it's more like a shorter trespass.
Yeah, that's what I think about it too. I mean, trespass and convict are kind of similar in stabilities for me, but yeah, I think if I had to describe it as a longer convict or shorter trespass, I'd say shorter trespass for sure.
All right. So this one is from Nick. Nick says, "What's up, DGAM crew? I've been discing for about 10 years and have been using a one-finger sidearm since the start. I see a lot of pros use a two-finger, and I'm wondering if there's an advantage to stacking two instead of one. I know a big factor for grip is comfort, and I find the one finger more comfortable, and it provides a smoother release. Would it be worth it to put in some field work and develop comfort with two fingers? Thanks, and keep dominating the podcast world." I think Bobby's dominating the podcast world. I'm solidly
I mean, we read the question.
Challenging.
So I think we get the credit, right?
We are the disc golf answerman this time.
That's true.
All right. So what do you think about a one finger versus a two finger forehand grip?
Yeah, I think you can get more control with a two-finger grip, but like if a one finger is working and you're just out there crushing it, like go for it. But if you're crushing it is 150 feet and somewhat accurate, then yeah, put in the work, put the two fingers in there. You can still get the distance. You can still, I think you get more accuracy.
Yeah.
But it does, there is a personal preference element to it. But yeah, I would say at least give two fingers a week, 2 weeks. It's going to feel weird for a day or two, but give it a chance. I think it'll give you better results.
Yeah, I think a two-finger grip is a lot more powerful, and it provides a lot more control, like what you're saying, because you have 3 points of contact versus two. So if I have, again, going back to, we should have had a disc here.
We really should.
I wasn't thinking. Sorry.
So much for dominating.
So we have two fingers here. It's all wobbly, right? I can grip it tighter, but it's still going to have that little bit of wobble in it. But if I put two fingers on the bottom, now I have 3 points of contact, and it's not going to wobble nearly as much. I mean, it's wobbling a lot still. But are you warm? Oh, yes. Does that help? All right. So it's going to provide you a little bit more consistency in your release, but also. Some people will do the two-finger grip, like I was saying earlier, with their fingers sideways. Make sure you're turning your fingers into the rim. Mm-hmm. That's going to have you add a lot more power. Because with two fingers, you have two fingers powering the shot rather than just one. So you get to use a lot more of the muscles here in your, what is this, forearm?
That would be the forearm,
This would be an arm. You get to use a lot more muscles in your arm to snap your wrist forward rather than just the one finger. I think that's about all I was saying.
Yep, that answered his question.
Okay.
I just got an exciting text. I lost a Justice at Peter Pan. I got it as part of my player pack in GBO.
Like the White Fusion?
No. Whenever it's a loose one,
yeah.
When it first came out, it's a 167 yellow Justice. I lost it at Pan. You want to know how long it was ago? I believe I lost it during when there was that big media battle, and it was going to be like Answer Man against Smashbox, and then like that was the year I filmed with Central Coast, so we jumped in on it. Stu Mullenberg
jumped in. Is that when I met you the first time? I think that was the year before.
Okay. Because that was when I played it. Yeah. I just there's a local guy who dives in all of our ponds, and he just texted me and said, "Hey, I got a yellow Justice."
Nice.
So it's just been swimming in Pan for 2 years now.
Probably stinks.
Probably is just
smells like fish.
Radioactive, but
you got it back.
It might still fly good,
and that's what's important.
So sorry, I was distracted.
That's
exciting
fine.
Exciting news.
All right, this next one is from Angelo. He says, "What do you do with a mold that's just not for you? Do you keep it, try to sell it, or gift it? Example of this is when I finally decided on a putter. I tried judges, deputies, caltrops, and wardens, and I went with the wardens. Now I have other molds taking up weight in my bag. What have you all done with this situation? I am a hoarder.
Yeah, I mean, I keep most of my discs, but it sounds like he's still bagging it.
Yeah, I don't keep it in my bag. I put it in a bin. We have the dynamic disc bins.
Yep.
That you can fill up with a lot of discs, and they stack to keep them all from warping, or give them away to newer players.
Yeah, I think
throw them.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what it is. Like, I keep most of my discs, but if it's something that like my girlfriend wants, she's like, "Oh, that's pretty. That would be fun to play with." I'll give it to her. Or my parents just started playing like a year ago, so if they were like, "Oh, we really like the Maverick," I would never give them a Maverick because they're all mine. But like if they really like the Witness or something, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't throw it anymore. I'll give it to them." But I definitely don't bag it.
Yeah, if it's gonna fly bad, you don't want to bag it.
No, if I'm not gonna throw the disc, you don't want the weight. I'm not wasting the space in my bag. I'm not wasting the energy to carry it around. No, if I'm not throwing it, it is not going near my bag.
Example of this, I was throwing a slammer until recently, and I never threw the slammer good once. And so on hole 7 of East, I turned and threw it in the water. I don't want to throw this disc. I don't want it taking up the bag for the last however many holes.
And for anyone who's
12 holes
been here, you know, and they're probably very confused. For people that haven't been here, they probably think that's a water shot.
No.
Hole 7 at Jones East, there is not water that comes into play. Danny threw off the
sideways.
tee. Yes. I mean, 60, 70 degrees from the direction of the hole.
Oh, I was trying to throw it in the water.
Well, I know, but like some people might think, you know, it's like hole 4 at East. Yeah, you just didn't throw it far enough. No, Danny threw sideways over a street, over another tee pad,
over a pavilion,
splash into a pond. Respect,
it's not a disc for me.
Respect.
Not a disc. It was a little bit spiteful. A little bit of frustration went into that throw, but
all right, I got one from the chat here.
Okay. So I think we're going to answer one more question here, and then we'll close out the episode and go to the chat.
Okay.
Okay.
Make sure we find a good one to close on.
A good one?
Yes.
Is this a good one?
Hopefully. This one just came in from Salak, I believe.
Okay. Is how
you say it. He said, "What do you guys think of putter-only rounds? Does it really improve form?"
I think putter-only rounds will help you get a clean release, and it'll help you, if you're having trouble with that off-axis torque, with that wobble, it'll help you develop touch and work on your angles. The one thing it doesn't help with is nose up, because putters will forgive nose up more than a driver will. So, yes, play putter-only rounds, but don't take all of the discs out of your bag and only throw putters.
Yep. Yeah, I love doing it. It's fun, because I really don't throw putters all that often. Like you said, I think it'll help with your form a little bit, but I don't think just throwing putters is inherently going to give you better form.
Yeah.
So, yes. Do them. Do other things as well.
All right, let's get the last question here.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about upcoming tournaments, and then we'll close out the episode and just do the live for a second.
Oh, wait. Can I just brag real quick?
Go ahead.
They always talk about this fantasy disc golf thing, right?
Oh, yeah, you're crushing it.
Eric always forgets his picks. I feel like Robert does most of them. Okay. I had my best week ever last week. It was like 1,200 something points.
Did you win?
No.
Dang it.
I'm in like 14th overall, and I had my best week ever, and it was, oh, hey, what's up, Robert? And Bobby just joined in.
Dang.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I had my best week ever.
It's like 11 o'clock over there.
Yeah.
Go to bed, y'all.
It's probably very late. Did you see Bobby? I'm going on tangents here.
Never mind.
He posted on Instagram. They were out playing. I mean, it was as sunny as it is right now, and it was 10:30 at night.
That's okay. Don't go to bed then. Go play disc golf.
No. See, like they always complain about their winters being really bad, but you have sun all day in the summer, so you can play 24 hours a day up there. Okay, but yes, I had my best week ever. I'm in 14th overall.
Nice.
I don't care what Bobby says. If I win, I'm getting whatever that prize is. No, I'm not going to.
You're just going to take it. Yes. Just walk into his office.
For sure. I'll be like, yeah, I'll send it out to him and then just address it to myself.
That works.
But yeah.
Save on shipping too.
See?
Or you could ship it anyway just to really sell the deal.
I'm just trying to save us money here. But yeah, no, I had my best week ever and still placed like 40th for the week.
Really?
People killed it this week.
Way to go.
Thanks, though.
Because Ricky won.
Well,
everybody picks Rick.
You know.
Hashtag pick Rick.
Pick Rick.
All right.
The winner for the week, though, I did notice almost all of the people that beat me, I picked her as well, picked Paige Bierkes.
Oh, second.
Yes.
Little Paige crushed it.
Monster.
Little Paige was like she had to fight back the last round too. She had a rough start to the last round, but watching Doug watch the scores come in with the UDisc scoring, because we were out at the B tier or the match play, and he was jumping up and down on like a new knee. And he was ecstatic. That was cool to see.
That was really awesome.
All right, are we finally around to the last question?
Yes.
All right, this one is from Bill Huffman. Wait, we got to talk about... No, we don't have to talk about anything else.
What I watch?
All right, this one is called Tournament Prep. He says, I'm getting ready for my first PDGA tournament. I've played many league rounds and a couple of unsanctioned tournaments. I practice 3 to 4 times a week during my lunch hour and play once a weekend. The last month, I've been working a lot on full power form videos with success thanks to Danny's video guidance. Thank you. The week prior to the tournament, should I continue to practice form or go with my form as is and practice throwing lines and approach shots, or take the week off? What do you think?
Oh, jeez. I mean,
I think
it really depends.
It's hard. It's easy to burn out. I think if you're throwing full power shots for in the field like every day, that's gonna be hard.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do that like for one day. I don't think I would do that, let alone all
3
week.
to 4 rounds a week's like every other day.
But I'm not throwing full power shots in the field.
Yeah.
For like, I mean, if I go out and do field work, it's like an hour.
I mean, like this guy is though. Like he's every other day he's going out and playing around, and I don't think that's too much as long as you're not like sore or worn out. But
No.
he's also wondering about should he stick with his form as it is or keep working on it?
Whoops. I think it depends what you're working on. If it's something minor, then work on it. But if you're trying to like learn backhand, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
the week
I would
before a tournament.
I would generally try to stick with what you're learning. Stick with what is better. Like if you know that a certain shot is better, then I would trust that. Like if I've been working on my reach back lately. If I know that a shorter reach back is going to be better for me, I'm not going to go to a tournament and reach back farther. I'm going to stick with what I've been working on and stick with that. But you don't want to like all of a sudden change your grip right before a tournament or change something that's going to drastically affect your throw.
So what would you do if, well, you said reach backs, we'll do that. If you were working on your reach back and you have a tournament that starts on Friday, we'll pretend today's Monday. Are you going to start working on it, or are you going to say, okay, I'm going to wait till Sunday after the tournament, then I'm going to start working on my reach back?
If I have a chance to throw in a field for 45 minutes, I'm going to go work on it.
Really?
45 minutes is all I need.
Okay. So it's Friday morning, hour and a half before tea time.
No.
Then you're not? Okay.
The day of, no.
Okay.
But the day before, sure. Because this actually happened at GBO between round 1 and round 2. I was like, I suck at putting. I'm going to go practice putting. And I also suck at throwing, so I went to practice throwing. And I worked on it.
Are
and
those important?
I shot almost 1,000 rated second round.
Dang.
Not really.
Dang, Daniel.
It was all right, but I will always change something for the better. But there are people who are very, very set in their ways and very, very consistent players. So I think that's all we have.
I think so.
All right. So thanks for tuning into this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. We will catch you next time.
Yes.
All right, but stay on the YouTube
On the
because that's
live.
just the live.
Although
That's
I guess
just the recorded.
We won't catch you next time.
We won't. Yes, I will catch you
Somebody
in
will.
spirit, but
Yes.
not in actuality.
Be
All
here
right.
in theory.
So getting rid of the questions and pulling up the YouTube chat, we'll hang out here for
A little bit.
10 more minutes.
Sure. I got 10 minutes.
We got 10 minutes. All right.
Adam wants to know, Danny, what did you throw before you threw DD?
Okay, so
Fits, tantrums.
yes, very much. Let's see, I started playing in 2013, and within a year, I had a bag, one of those Magellan bags, those
Nice.
Academy bags. That's like $40, I think.
Mm-hmm.
With I putted with Judges. I had a Discraft Heat that was the Ace Race disc. I had KC Rocks. I had a Glide, a Katana, and a Destroyer. And I didn't throw any of them well, but very soonly. I was going to say quickly or soon.
Very soonly.
Very soonly. After that, it was, I realized that Latitude 64 sponsored the local pro, and he was running all the tournaments, and they were sponsoring the events and stuff like that, so I wanted to support them. So I started throwing Latitude. I found ballistas. I still have Scandinavian Open ballistas. Waiting to drop those on the auction page for like lots of money soon.
There was a guy here. You should have hit him up at Match Play. He was throwing those. I forget what his name was.
They threw them far?
Yeah.
They go
he's
far.
doing
One of
real
them has
good.
road rash on it because I'm
Damn
an
it.
idiot.
Well, one of his is in a pond pan right now.
No.
Yeah.
Dang.
So
Anyway,
bummer.
I started with ballistas, and then I threw like truths for a while. Now I throw the EMAC truth. So I sort of transitioned from Innova to mixed bag, and now I throw all dynamic. I have defenders, criminal, getaway, verdict, EMAC, justice, warden, suspect, judge. All DD.
Nice.
All right. What did you throw before? You threw kind of everything.
I was all over the place. Yeah, I threw before I worked here, I threw a lot of our stuff anyways. I threw a good bit of Innova. I threw some Pro Discus.
You used like the Jokery a lot.
Oh, I love that thing. Yeah.
Or the Jokari, as Corey Merle has been saying. It's Jokery, Corey.
I'm not sure.
I'm not jokering. That was bad. I'm sorry.
I threw really everything.
Yeah?
I tried Legacy for a bit. I just liked throwing discs.
Yeah.
If it flew well, I would throw it for sure.
All right. Any C tiers during Junior Worlds? I don't know. I would give it a 50-50 shot right now. Off the top of my head, I haven't heard of them, but also they might be happening. So I wouldn't give it a 50-50 shot. I would say like 75-25. I would not in favor of it.
I would give it 50-50 because it either is or it isn't.
You're good.
There's
good point.
There's only two chances.
All right. Do we have any questions from the chat? Any more questions? We know Bobby and Robert are here, definitely judging us. Danny, is there any advantage to missing a putt high versus low? I hear people say they would rather miss high, but if I had to miss, I would miss low and not go flying past the basket. Bill, I think the logic behind that is if you missed high, you gave it enough effort to get it there. You actually put forth what you needed to make the putt. It just didn't go in. Whereas if you missed low, it never really had a chance. You never were really trying. But I agree, it's just a missed putt, and a low putt is more likely to stay by the pin. I just try and throw it in the basket rather than miss high or low. It doesn't work out for me, but that's what I do.
Usually if I miss low, which is frustrating.
But disc golf answer, boy, I resent that. I'm 23.
Misses in general are frustrating.
Mm-hmm. I tend to buzz the tower right around the right side. Like if all the baskets in the world were moved a foot to the right, I would make every putt.
Nice.
I would never miss.
You know what you should do? Aim a foot left.
Oh, good idea.
Just saying.
Then I will miss left. I tried that.
No.
Didn't work.
Dang it. Sorry. That's why I don't give advice right there.
Someone says, is there any significance to follow through with palm up, palm down, or forward? Everyone is different. Is this just a feel thing? So I'm assuming you're asking about backhand, but it could be about forehand. Generally, you want to have your palm down for a backhand because if you're tilting it up at the last second, it's going to cause a bad release. It's going to mean you're releasing with all four fingers rather than pinching and having it pivot. But for a forehand, if your fingers are sideways, you want to follow through with your palm up. But if your fingers are turned into the rim, then you want to follow through with your palm forward. And only if you're throwing an Anheuser do you want to have your palm down.
I know you said you resent Disc Golf Answer Boy, but because he said we should have our own show before that, I'm cool with it.
All right.
So thanks, Jack. Appreciate you, dude.
I was partial to Disc Golf Answer Dan, but nobody else is really partial to that.
Disc Golf Answer D'Anthony.
D'Anthony, there it is.
Just saying.
That works.
Probably
Disc
never gonna
Golf
happen.
Anthony Dan.
That's way better. I don't know why we didn't say that.
Someone says, I've been working on my form and it feels good in practice, but when I hit the course, I revert to my old form. How do I fix this? So, Sean, you have to stop thinking about new form and old form, because if you have them segregated like that, it's going to be really easy to revert to your old form. Just have your new form and practice it so much that you cannot forget how to do it. Make it like walking. Like you don't think about walking 20 feet in front of you. You shouldn't think about throwing a hyzer. You should just throw the hyzer. Does that make sense? You don't have to think about lifting up your foot, moving it forward, sitting it down, lifting up your foot, moving it forward, setting it down. You just walk. That's what the throw needs to feel like. You don't think about X step, reach back, pulls. Just throw it.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I really think about when I'm on the tee pad is like my run up. Because everything else is just kind of second nature. I don't really think about it. I do it. But my run up, like, I feel like that's kind of what sets up my whole throw. So I'll stand where I want and I'll get lined up to where I want to throw from on the tee pad. And then I'll just do that. My throw really isn't much different. The angle, sure, hyzer, flat, whatever. But yeah, I'm not thinking.
Angle and end direction is really what you
Yeah, I'm not thinking about like, okay, right foot, left foot, reach back.
For sure. You just want to make it as simple as possible.
Yeah.
Next one is, I don't even know how to pronounce that.
Uh-oh.
Xaeols Sauce.
Nailed it.
Sauce.
Yep.
Sauce. I think of
Something like that.
the Lady Gaga song, Applause. This is the after the podcast. This
This is our Smashbox after
This is
show.
it. The Smashbox after show.
Nice.
Talk about that.
Sorry.
No, that
After show. That's way better. The
So-
best podcast on the internet's after show.
this is what this is.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's
And
what
it's
we're
also better than
right
the Smashbox Real Show.
for sure.
For sure.
If there was a Smashbox podcast that did an after show, this would be better
This would be better.
for sure.
So, this is gonna make it worse though.
Dang it.
Lady Gaga song, Applause. It's like a minute for the pause, whatever. I cannot stop hearing applesauce. I'm in it for the sauce, the sauce, the sauce.
Okay.
Live for applesauce, sauce. I don't know.
Have you ever? So the Taylor Swift 22, I think it's called.
Yep.
I don't know about you feeling 22. If you ever listen to that with Doug, you don't really have to listen to it with Doug.
I
but
want
he's
to now.
the one that showed it to me. Instead of 22, if you think about the word swimsuit, she says swimsuit. Prove me wrong.
All right.
It happens. Just do it.
All right. Last question from the board.
Ooh.
Is it too soon to do last question? Should we do two more?
Uh,
We also just got another question, so I'm probably gonna do two more.
Definitely two then.
All right. I'm driving this ship. You're just along for the ride.
Let's go, man.
Also, you could just leave.
Oh, okay. Bye.
Please don't.
No.
All right. It says, how do I get enough spin on lower... sorry, Adam. Nope. So, shout. This is where it came from. Sauce. Said, how do I get enough spin on lower powered throws? Like an upshot to throw accurately. So, you still want to have your hand on the outside, just like you do for a regular shot. Just don't reach back as far. I reach back to the middle of my chest and then just snap it forward, and that gets the spin on it.
Yeah.
Just practice it, too. Just go in a field, and rather than doing full power, just...
I was
Did you
just
see-
reading Jack's comment. He says, I seriously love you guys. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. And then he said, you have shaved so many throws off my game. And that reminded me about the joke I made earlier where we can't grow facial hair.
Yep.
And so I thought he was trying to be mean.
Wow.
But thanks,
Way to
Jack.
be accidentally rude, Jack. Accidentally
Thank
rude.
you. You're welcome. And also, what the heck?
You need to appreciate them.
We really have, like,
No.
considering, I mean, like, I'm just saying, we took a big step down in terms of facial hair game.
For sure. We have Emac and Robert.
And Bobby's got his little...
Mm-hmm. You know, if you go up north, all the disc golfers have facial hair. I played in Wisconsin and Minnesota. Every disc golfer that
It's
I have met up
cold
there,
in the winters, man.
of age, of old enough to have facial hair, has had facial hair. At some form of it.
That's probably why I left.
I should probably go play disc golf up there more, and then I'll grow
Didn't
facial
fit
hair.
in.
TJ Seneca asked, "How do I stop?" He's from Maryland. I bet you, if it's a dude, I bet he's got facial hair. How do I
He's a
stop looking
doctor,
at the
too?
target and look back during the reach back?
Like this?
Yep.
Just turn
Commit to turning your shoulders all the way away from the target, and don't try and look at the target, because if you look at the target, your shoulders are going to over rotate and you're going to pull it to the right.
Mm-hmm.
So keep your head down. You can look at the disc when it's in front of your chest, but then keep your head down and just let it fall, let your hand follow through and get to the release point.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I think that's about all the questions that we've got. So I think it's about time to sign off. Thank you for watching/listening. If you're
welcome.
if you just have us in the background, I still appreciate it. Even though you're not looking at us, I wouldn't want to look at us for that long anyway.
TJ, he said, I'd want James Conrad's hair. Same.
Also, Corey Merle's hair.
Same.
Corey's a cool dude.
Yes.
All right, 10 needs to get in, so we need to shut this down. So, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Disc Golf Answer Man.